Or we could just go to be silent. Or we could just go to be silent.
Hello?
Well, welcome, scholars. How are we doing? Thumbs
How are
up.
you doing?
Thumbs
Good,
up.
great.
Good. Good. It is
I'm
5
Gucci.
p.m. Ooh,
Thumbs up. You
5
already
p.m.
know.
Sorry. It's 2 o'clock. Kind of gave away. I might be somewhere different than where you all are.
Yeah.
Did anyone pick up and hear me say it's 5 o'clock?
Wow.
Wow.
All of our teachers told us 2 o'clock.
What's up, Sam?
Okay,
Highlight.
everyone has to be muted right now.
What's up, boss?
Muted.
Hush, Michael.
Thank you. Appreciate you all. We have scholars here, so the rules are you're to be muted the whole time. I've put a link in the chat room that
What's
this
up,
is
Mike?
being live stream on YouTube. You're supposed to be muted.
How's that funny? Delilah, we don't watch anime.
Okay, there we go. Well, good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope you had a great morning of teaching and learning from your teachers today, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th period today. Today, we're having our Scholars Assembly. This is our time to meet with you all. You get to meet with your administrators from 6th, 7th, and 8th grades. You'll hear from your counselors today. Also, you'll hear from Ms. Siebert, physical educational teacher, and Mr. Lowe, who is from the Coalition of Black Men. He will be here to explain about his program. I'm going to put this in the chat room again. If anyone wants to go, this is live on YouTube. It's streaming live. So if some of you want to go over there to free up some space on Zoom here, that would be grateful. You would see the same thing, but right now it is live on YouTube Live. So right now I'm going to present my screen. We have a slideshow for you all today.
I keep trying to get into YouTube and it won't work.
Mine's too. Everybody just keeps
Pull me out, I'm
typing.
imposter.
Okay, well, thank you all. As you know, technology, we have to work with technology. Technology sometimes does not work with us. So thank you for being patient as you all have acclimated to digital learning. It's been a learning curve for all of us. I will admit this is my first student assembly, but we're calling it Scholar Assembly because you all are scholars. Ever, I have done it in this manner and I'm looking forward to it. As you can see, our opening page, welcome Harriet Tubman Middle School Scholars, home of the legends. Especially our sixth graders, we want to give you a special shout out. You're new to the building, you're new to another school level. You're going to meet new friends. As you know, this school, we're feeding from 4 different elementary schools. So when you get that chance, when we come back into the building, and I hope even during right now, during this distance learning, that you're making new friends and able to connect. And hopefully one day we will be back in that building. So as we start today, I'm the proud principal, Mr. Mayor. I'm so happy to be here with you all. I wish we were in person. It's something that I'm missing, given the 5 pounds and such. Just to wish you a great day coming off the bus, coming out of your car, walking to school. I do miss that, that interaction with you all, speaking with you all while in the cafeteria. But one day it will come back and we will be back to that type of normalcy. But for right now, we will build our relationship virtually and we will become stronger behind everything that we're dealing with. So it's great to be here with you. As I said, I wish we were in person, but because of the pandemic, it has hindered us from socializing. But when we get back in that building, I promise you, it will be a celebration. We are going to celebrate, celebrate, and celebrate. I hope you all had a wonderful start to the school year. Your teachers were and are working hard to make sure you have engaging lessons. They're here to support your learning. They're always thinking about what can they do for you all. They miss you all too with the face-to-face instruction, but they're just thinking of ways of how they can connect with you all. And I hope you really appreciate them because they've really been working hard. They don't stop talking about what they can do for you. So you have great teachers in front of you. Please appreciate them. They've been working hard. Also, some of you might have contacted Ms. Holmes, Mr. Longo. They've been helping you with your technology needs, how to log in and such. The front office staff of Ms. Brown, Ms. Mahari, Ms. Smith, they've been helping with distribution of Chromebooks and hotspots, also helping you log in. We also had our counselors, Ms. Drew and Ms. Lowen. They also been helping with schedules, delivering technology, material distribution, and just helping you if you had any other type of needs. Ms. Boldman and Mr. Stone, they organized and along with others with the climate team to create your materials distribution and other needs as well. And your administrators, Ms. Crowell and Ms. MD, they've been assisting, speaking with your parents about scheduling and all other things that help support what the teachers are doing. So as you can hear, we're a family here at Harriet Tubman, and we're here to support you along the way. You're very important to us. You are our scholars. Just want you to know. So you keep hearing and seeing the word scholar for your title. So you might be wondering, what is a scholar? Well, a scholar is a person who is highly educated, has an aptitude, meaning that they're very well versed in what they're studying. A scholar is a person who pursues academic and intellectual activities. And that's something that you all do on a daily basis. Your teachers are here to guide that. You all have great talents and they're here to guide that, to motivate you, cultivate your talents so you could be the best. So those descriptors I've just mentioned about being a scholar, we see that all in you, all of you. What we're seeing, what we know we have in front of us are future educators, academia. Those are your professors and such, people who do a lot of research, doctors, politicians, engineers, business owners, attorneys, CEOs, professional athletes and professional dancers, and et cetera. You're all here within this building, and we're here to cultivate you to make sure you get to where you want to go. You all have a lot to offer. Just know that. So you are home of the legends. You're all going to lead a legacy of greatness that will impact society. The staff here, as I told you, is here to support you, to get you to where you want to go. Don't let anyone say you can't do something. Can't should be taken out of your lexicon, meaning your dictionary for yourself. You are the best, and just know you are the best. And if you hear otherwise, you need to stay away from those people. Those are the ones that are not good for you. You need to be around positive people that are telling you to do the great things, do the good things at all times. So my vision for Harriet Tubman is to become a world-class school, and it begins with you all. What does world-class mean? It means being the best, the highest caliber. That means people want to be or be like you or something. They measure against you to say, that's what I want to be. All of you, if you put your best to it, you will become world-class. You have it. You all have the best in you, and we're going to bring it out of you. It doesn't matter where you are right now, you have those talents that we're going to bring out, which will be the best of you, which leads you to become world-class. I want you to think about a time when you were your best. What was it that drove you to be your best? I want you to think about that. Just think of a time when you were just the best at something you were doing. What drove you to be your best? What was it? And that drive that you had, we need you to have that every day here at Harriet Tubman. Your teachers need that from you. They need to see the best from you. If it's something that you don't understand, they're here to help you. You need to ask so that they can help you. So you have the best in you, we're going to bring it out of you because you all are world class. So the world class begins with you all. And that's what's going to lead Harriet Tubman to be a world class school in which other schools are going to want to be like Harriet Tubman. Other schools are going to look at Harriet Tubman and say, what are they doing over there? We need to be like them. I want to be in that school. And that's what we're going to do for Harriet Tubman, because we're the home of the legends. And so as we go through this program, you're going to hear how we're going to become world class. During the course of the year, you're going to hear other things that we want to do for the school. One project we do want to entertain within the next month is a beautification project. In the front of our school, one part of our school, we want to beautify it. We want to plant, clean up, because it is representing who we are as Harriet Tubman Middle School. So we need to take pride of where we are, who we are. And that begins with just taking care of what we look like from the outside, because we have beautiful people inside when you get to come back in the building. So we're going to work on that outside, and you all will get information about that. It will happen at a time after school hours in which voluntary, that we come to the school and we plant and we clean up in the front so we can have the best school and that world-class school that I was telling you about, that you all are going to make world-class. So I salute you all. Thank you so much. And as I said, I am your proud principal, Mr. Mayor, and I wish you could reach out to me so I could give you a pound like that. But please email me if you just want to say, hey, Mr. Mayor, just tell me how's your day going. I will definitely answer you back. So thank you. And at this time, I want to introduce you to your world-class administrators, Ms. Crowd and Ms. MD. Hold on, please. Hold on, please. I'm trying to get them to unmute them. I'm sorry.
Okay, can everybody hear me? Can you hear me, Mr. Mayor?
I can't.
Okay, great.
I'm gonna put a
Thanks.
thumbs up, see if they,
I see some thumbs up, so that's great.
good.
And there's a recommendation, I think, to see if we can close the chat down so we can get everybody's attention.
Okay, I'll work on that, definitely.
Okay,
Because we want
great.
attention. Miss MD, are you there? Just to give a mic check.
I'm here. It works.
Great.
Thank you.
All right.
Great. All right, everybody. Well, I will start. It's so wonderful to see some familiar faces and some new faces. I scrolled down all the pictures and anyone's video that was on so I could just see your wonderful selves. That I can speak for all of us to say it's just heartbreaking not to be able to see you in the building right now. And I'm just so proud of all of you for showing up for your classes and just really stepping up to this challenge right now. So just want to acknowledge you all for that. And thanks for being here today. Again, I'm Ms. Crowell and I oversee 6th and 7th grade students. I also oversee math and science and English language development. My family consists of my son and my husband, and I have 3 stepchildren as well. 2 are grown and moved out of the house, and 1 is a teenager, he's 17. My son is also a 6th grader at a school here in PPS, and we have an English bulldog as a puppy. Let's see, my hobbies are boogie boarding with my son and surfing in the Oregon Ocean. Also skiing up at the mountain with my son, and I like to go running and play pickleball and tennis and lots of yoga. My favorite music, all-time favorite band is Coldplay. And so if I put that on my Alexa, I'll just say, Alexa, play Coldplay. Hope she doesn't come on now. My middle school hairstyle was buzzed on the left and then long to this cheekbone on the right. So it was kind of a rocker kind of hairstyle, swooped in front of my face. And I used the Sun-In spray. I don't know even if that's around anymore, but Sun-In was a spray in kind of lightning thing. And I would sit out in the sun and my hair just went orange in middle school. So there you go. I can't wait to see you all in person here eventually. Thanks for being here today. Here's Miss MD.
Hi, everyone. Much like Ms. Crowell did, I went through all the pictures on the screen because I am missing seeing the students of HTMS, and I can't wait to meet you all in person. I've been really lucky to be able to come into your classrooms and get to see you working hard and being amazing scholars. So I kind of am in charge of the 8th grade students in language arts, social studies, and the electives. My family is my husband, my 18-year-old stepson, Miles, and my 6-year-old first grade daughter, Vivian. We have 2 dogs that like to bark a lot, and we have a really old cat named Monty Burns after my favorite Simpsons character. And my favorite hobbies are, I love reading, I love watching movies, especially if they're kind of silly. I like silly movies. And I love hiking with my family and going on walks with my family and my dogs. It really makes me feel better. My favorite music is, this might be surprising, but I was a big time punk rocker back in the day. So I like punk music, and I still put that on to get me going and get energized and get ready for the day. And much like Ms. Crowell, I had a sun-in incident when I was in middle school. I drove in a car with my parents from California to New York and then to North Dakota and back home. And I put sun-in in my hair every single day, and I would try to hang my head out the window so I could make my hair blonde, but it didn't work and it turned bright orange. And then I got a perm, and then I didn't know how to take care of the perm. So I looked like a hot mess. So that's my middle school haircut. And yeah, I'm just really stoked to be here with you guys.
Okay, so we're going to play a short video for you, and you may have already experienced some land acknowledgements in your classroom, but we're going to play this video for some background context and knowledge, and then the next slide will be a short land acknowledgement for you all. So it's about 5 minutes. Enjoy.
Oops. It didn't go.
Last year, the state's tribal and education leaders worked together to pass Senate Bill 13, Tribal History, Shared History. This monumental legislation requires that Oregon produce and share essential understandings of Oregon Indians, and then use this information to develop a statewide curriculum relating to the Native American experience in Oregon, including tribal history, sovereignty, culture, treaty rights, government, socioeconomic experiences, and current events. This curriculum will include 45 lesson plans across grades 4, 8, and 10 in English language arts, math, science, social studies, and health. Yet Senate Bill 13 is about so much more. It's an invitation and an opportunity to teach the rich history of our land and its people, and to pair the strengths of our education system, teachers and students, with the new knowledge and content the curriculum will establish.
I'm excited about SB 13 because Native American history is U.S. history. Native American influence is often minimized or completely left out. My textbook that we use at my school calls Pocahontas a curious and willing prisoner. And I can't in good consciousness continue perpetuating those myths and stories and really culturally disrespectful.
I'm excited because I feel like there isn't a relationship between Native people and the education system. And with this bill being passed and being implemented in schools, I feel like this is the gateway to building that relationship.
My son so far in his education has had a really positive experience with Title VI and Indian education. That has had a really positive impact on him, just to have his identity validated and reflected in school.
There's a lot of potential impacts in my classroom. The first for my Native American students. They could go their entire academic career and never learn positive things about their people. They could only see negative stereotypes. The second impact would be for my non-Native students. They need to see the positive examples so that they're not perpetuating these myths and stories as well.
When teachers are looking for who to reach out to in order to get information and resources regarding Native-based curriculum, they should look to tribes within their area or tribes that are closest to their school district. And you can start by calling the main office, and they will connect you with whoever it may be in their culture department or in their education department to help get you the information that you need.
I know in education we struggle with always having new things to do and integrate into our curriculum. But this is a really important step, and we benefit from multiple perspectives in our history. And so what we need to work together to do is figure out how to integrate this into what we're already teaching and not assume it's something new that replaces something old. But how do we improve our current history curriculum and integrate those perspectives to increase inclusion and make our education system better for all?
Senate Bill 13, our Tribal History Shared History, has a 2-year rollout plan. Phase 1 has 2 parts to it. The first part is that together between the Department of Education and the 9 tribes, we develop essential understandings to be sure we're aligned throughout the whole project. The second part of phase 1 is the curriculum development. So each of the 9 tribes has been delivered resources so that they can themselves develop a place-based curriculum that is specific to their tribes. Phase 2 then is what we roll into, and this is where we come together with the Oregon Department of Education and the school districts, and we recognize that we have some learning to do in order to implement this curriculum. And the third phase is when teachers go to work in the classroom, they have the background knowledge and they have this new curriculum that's been developed by the tribes, and they begin to work directly with our students. I think one thing that's important for us to remember about Senate Bill 13, which sounds like just any other state law, is that it is far more than a state law. Senate Bill 13 is really an agreement between the state of Oregon, its government, and the governments of each of the 9 different tribes that reside here in the state. These children that we're teaching this to will be tomorrow's leaders, and they'll shape a brand new future for the state of Oregon and its relationship with each of our tribes.
Our charge as a state is to create the conditions for the implementation of tribal history to be shared history. Those conditions require that teachers receive the support they need so that all students leave school empowered with accurate knowledge about their state. Senate Bill 13 is a long awaited for and fought for gift. What we do with it depends on our will. We have an obligation to Indian students to let them know that their history is no longer deleted. And we have an obligation to non-Indian students to teach the real history and contribution of tribes in Oregon. If we all pull together, we can do it.
So cool, everybody. So the neat thing about this and why it's important to show you this is that, especially in the 8th grade, but we're also going to trickle in some lessons in the 6th and 7th grade. And you all are going to actually experience some very purposeful and targeted lessons that honor the tribal history of Oregon. And so we have a land acknowledgement slide that we'll read to you. So you may see this pop up in some of your classes here to come, or you may have already seen it. But it goes like this: you are on Indigenous land. We want to take a moment to acknowledge the stolen lands on which we meet today. This land has been home to the native nations of the Multnomah, Kalapuya, Chinook, Clackamas, Molalla, Kathlamet, and Tualatin peoples, among others. Native peoples hunted deer and other animals, fished for salmon and other fish, gathered roots and berries, traded, lived within traditional spiritual and governmental structures, and more. Tribal termination, racism, and other aspects of colonialism have continued to negatively impact Native people since that time. We can't undo what was done, but we can honor and acknowledge the descendants of the original peoples of this land, those who have passed, as well as the land itself.
Thank you, Ms. Carl, for sharing that information. It's so important. So now we're moving into the Students' Rights and Responsibility Handbook. And we're going to be going through about 6 or 7 different really important things that we probably will be seeing, and might have seen some on the chat earlier today. And so we're going to be talking about how what Portland Public Schools and Harriet Tubman Middle School believe is appropriate, and how we can be safe and responsible and respectful. But also we put different links on here on this front page just so that families can access this later to be able to read through it with you as well. All right.
So we're going to start with this slide on digital scholarship, and some of you may have already heard the terms digital citizenship, but we are moving from citizenship into scholarship district-wide, but especially at Harriet Tubman, we consider the student body as scholars. So we're gonna start by watching this video on Netiquette, a student's guide to digital etiquette.
Hey guys, so today we're going to be talking about something really important. We're going to be talking about having digital etiquette. In this case, since we're online, we're going to call it netiquette. So what is netiquette? It's basically just having proper communication. Sometimes we ask, how do I address a teacher online? Or what is the proper way to respond and ask for help? And is there a difference between communicating with friends and teachers, especially online? Well, there are two types of communication. You have formal and informal. Formal means when you're messaging your teachers directly, and informal means when you're replying to a post or a thread that you have on platforms like Etsy. So rule number 1, always have a proper greeting. Start with good morning or hello, and always include their last name. Don't just say miss or sir. Number 2, ask your specific question. Don't just talk casually and say, what page? Thanks, miss. Always be specific because they have more students and not just you. Number 3, be professional. Are you making sense? Did you use the rules of capitalization and punctuation? And are you being respectful? If you are, then I think you're good to go. Last but not least, always end with a proper ending. You can say things like sincerely or thanks in advance if it's an ongoing message. So why is this important? If you practice good etiquette now, you'll be able to respond properly in high school, in college, and eventually the workforce. You'll be prepared to communicate in any situation that you're in. So last but not least, try to be a good digital citizen. Ask yourself if you're being safe, if you're being respectful, and always think before you post. Don't forget, your teachers are always proud of you and they're here for you no matter what. Always have online etiquette and don't forget to be respectful, responsible, and safe.
Okay, so we are going to always be looking to acknowledge responsible digital scholars. And I really appreciate everyone who came online today already and demonstrated that level of responsibility, safety, respect, and just really good community building. So we recognize those of you who are making really good choices. So do please access and use collaborative tools, safe sites, games, and searches. Be respectful, responsible, and safe while using devices. Communicate online in ways that are kind and respectful. You know how it feels so good when someone's cheering you on, and you know how it feels so bad when someone's taking you down. So always just communicate with people who lift you up and try to ignore those that are taking you down. Use only your account and not anyone else's, and keep your account and password information private. View and use networks that are allowed by the teacher and district or staff. Do not, please do not cause harm to others or damage their property. And causing harm also means that verbal or typed kind of harm that can really hurt someone in the chat box. Do not damage the computer equipment, data, or files. Look at, send, copy, or create materials that is rude, inappropriate, or meant to hurt someone's feelings, right? So you can always rely, this is partly why we're having this assembly, right? So you know who you can come to for support when some of these unfortunate things are happening, okay? So Zoom or Google Meet bomb other classes, so please do not do that. Pursue hacking, do not pursue hacking. Do not plagiarize or steal information, music, videos, or other copy protected digital artifacts. And we'll get into a little bit more in a little bit about plagiarism and all the things about copying. But again, this whole slideshow will live on our website, so you can review it at any time, watch the videos again, and get inspired about being an awesome scholar in our community. Okay, attendance. So we're really looking for you guys to show up in your live classes, right? So students are expected to attend school and classes regularly and on time. So that means you need to show up for all of your live classes and small groups. And as you know, those small groups are starting to get formed, and your teachers are going to let you know if you've been rostered into a small group. If there are barriers you're experiencing making your live meetings, reach out to your teachers, counselors, or staff members or administrators, and reach out to people that you trust to help solve the problem. Okay, so harassment, bullying, hazing, sexual harassment. I'm going to read through these things. I really want you all to consider that it's important to recognize when this is happening in your digital world. And it's really important to access the resources of support, like we just mentioned, teachers, counselors, other staff members that you know and trust at Harriet Tubman, administrators, parents, all that. All students have the right to feel safe and included at school so they can thrive academically and socially, regardless of race, color, gender, religion, disability, national origin, sexual orientation, gender identity, or other perceived differences. Harassing, bullying, hazing, threatening, or physically harming a student or staff member or a person's property is prohibited. Sexual harassment is any unwelcome sexual behavior, including words or actions, and is prohibited. Students should report any harassment to school staff. So again, reflect on how this shows up, even if you weren't aware that some things that you see pop up in chats, some things that are texted to you via cyberbullying or cyber communication. Just reflect and know that you have the support at Harriet Tubman through your staff members and your teachers and administrators to help you.
All right, so now we're moving on to plagiarism and cheating. And what I'm going to read right here, which is written in the white text, says that comes right out of the Student Rights and Responsibilities book. It says students may not copy written work or projects done by other people or cheat on tests and other schoolwork. So we're looking for you, especially in this digital age, if you're going to use search engines such as Google to find information on something, that you are citing it appropriately and using quotations or paraphrasing or summaries so that you're documenting someone else's work and you're giving them the voice that they put that out there and not claiming it as yours. It is super important. Okay. Social media, and we have a social media responsibility video. Mr. Mayor, can you get that one going?
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
The idea of, posting and having a lot of people see it can definitely be kind of scary. If you're a teenager, you're going to make bad decisions sometimes.
They can screenshot it. They can do so many things to save that, and they can edit it in ways that you won't want them to.
Whether or not you think it'll go away, it's there. Anything you post online, you're stuck with.
Oversharing to me is putting too much of your personal life in front of a wide audience of people.
Posting something for the sake of showing that you're there and maybe not because you're actually having that great of a time.
Posting about things that people don't necessarily think are significant, but they're just kind of posting to be posting.
What you share and how often you share is going to affect the way that somebody views you. Just because I'm going to post all the time, and that doesn't mean that you're going to get all the attention. That doesn't mean that everybody's going to like you.
For example, people have like Finstas or spam accounts where they just like post random stuff, and sometimes they get too personal with what they're talking about on there.
Things that are meant to be texted one-to-one, people tend to post online so 50 other people can see their plans for tomorrow or the next weekend. You could be doing something like that could potentially endanger yourself by making your account public and saying too much about where you live or who you are.
When I'm in like a cool location and I want to show everybody where I am, but most of the time I'll just tag where I am on like a Snapchat story so people can know.
So once you put something online, it can be there forever because people might take screenshots, they might record it, they might save it.
I don't think people don't realize that it's going to be there forever. I think they just don't care. A lot of people have this mentality of like, what I'm doing is very insignificant. Why is anyone gonna care about this?
You should be cautious of what you post. You don't post your pictures and think like, okay, nobody's seeing me, nobody screenshotting me, nobody doing nothing, because people doing that, you're just not gonna know.
Your Snapchats, despite the fact that they only last, 4 to 8 seconds, they're still there. Your Instagram stories that go away after 24 hours, they're still there. Anything that is posted, anything that's up, no matter what happens, even if you leave it up for a minute and take it down, it's there as soon as you put it up there.
No one's going to scrutinize everything that you say the same way that you might.
You are not obliged to post every second of your life in order to please what you might seem as the majority of people. So when you feel like you have to post all the time, when you feel like you have to do this in order to get fame and attention, you don't. It's not your job.
That's something you always have to be thinking about. What do you want people to remember you on social media as?
So from that student rights and responsibilities booklet, if the posts are harassing and threatening or bullying in nature and cause substantial disruption to the learning environment, then your school administrators will be meeting with you. And so we really want you to make sure that you're being safe with other people's feelings and emotions and reputations and not posting things about them. Examples of harassing that will also get you a visit with the administrators of HTMS is harassing, threatening, or bullying posts that planning to set up a fight, or announcements about planning to bring prohibited substances to school for sale or to share with other students. We're gonna, because like that video said, like someone's going to screenshot that and share it with someone else, and that's going to get back to a parent or a staff member. So make sure that you are being safe and being respectful about what you're posting online.
May I just interject here, Ms. MD?
Sure.
Scholars, I just really want you to take this really seriously about what you post. It can come back to haunt you. For the last 2 years, I was assistant principal at a high school, and my seniors that were graduating, they didn't realize that colleges that they applied to and jobs that they applied to, they did a Google search on them, or they did their own research on them, and they would find these posts that they had from years ago, and they had to either explain or they just weren't contacted by that college or place of employment. So it's very important that you really be cognizant, meaning think about what you're going to do before you post anything, because as they said in the video, it doesn't go anywhere. And as you can see, some college stars and different varying sports, they have to explain a post they made 10 years ago. They're 24 years of age, and they have to explain a post they posted 10 years ago. And you all are within that 11 to 14 years of age. So please be careful what you're doing, because it could come back to you and you have to explain why you said what you said.
Absolutely, Mr. Mayor. Like when I accepted this job, I had to go through a background check.
Same
and
here.
when they did that background check, they looked through all the They used Google to go through and check to see what I had been posting and what my digital footprint was. So
Important.
it's important.
All right. So threats. When a student threatens violence or harm, the administrator may consider and implement any of the following. Immediately removing from the classroom setting any student who has threatened to injure another person or to severely damage school property. B, placing the student in a setting where the behaviors will receive immediate attention, including but not limited to the office of the school principal, assistant principal, counselor, or a school psychologist. Now, as we know, we're in our digital learning right now. And so we want you to know that we have a wonderful community of people that are in place to support you, whether you are struggling with making good choices towards your peers or teachers, or whether you are experiencing threats. And so even though we're in digital time, we have all kinds of resources for you, and our counselors are going to talk at the end again. We have wonderful community partners. We have Mr. Stone in place, and I think some of you have already seen him pop into your classroom. You have your teachers to go to. You have the same school community that you would have had in brick and mortar. We're all here for you, okay? So we really are going to support you to be the best scholar that you possibly can be.
Okay, so talking about discipline, everyone's least favorite subject. So out of the Students' Rights and Responsibilities book, it says this: school staff and parents, guardians share the responsibility for encouraging students' appropriate behavior. That's being safe, respectful, and responsible. School personnel are expected to use continuum of positive behavior interventions, strategies, and supports to teach, encourage, and reinforce appropriate behaviors conducive to a learning environment. So that's just what Ms. Crowell and Mr. Mayor have been saying. We are going to wrap around you. We are here to support you. Your teachers, the staff here are all here. So, but we are going to have things that, like, if things aren't being met and you're not taking care of business, then there will be consequences for those choices. And so here's a scenario, okay? If, let's say, not saying this happens, but if it did, a student Zoom or Google Meet bombs a class they are not in, or uses inappropriate language in a class or on the chat, then the consequences would be: 1, your teacher and the assistant principal will contact your parent or guardian. If it happens again, a virtual meeting will be held with your parent or guardian, teacher, counselor, Mr. Stone, and an assistant principal. So it's getting more people are there to wrap around you and find supports and find ways to figure out how that we can make you a safe digital citizen. And if it happens again for the 3rd time, what we do is asynchronous learning with a staff member. And during that time, you'll be doing that with just a teacher or a staff member, like an assistant principal or maybe Mr. Stone or a counselor. And you'll be also, so you'll be doing the learning that you would be doing in your other class, but you will be doing it with a one-on-one with an adult. And then you'll also be reviewing digital scholarship. Through any type of these 1st, 2nd, or 3rd consequences, you might end up with a stage 1 or a stage 2, and that'll be determined by the team based on what's going on. Again, we're hoping that everyone will make really safe and responsible choices that are respectful of our time here on the virtual classrooms. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out to your teachers or your assistant principals. And we are happy to explain any of this to you.
Thank you, Ms. MD. And I just want to just reiterate what Miss MD just explained to you all. We are taking these Google bombs, Meet bombs, and if it's in Zoom, seriously. You're disrupting the learning environment for others that want to learn. I understand you might want to be the person of the party or such, but that's not what we're here for. There's a time and place for that too, but it's also being disrespectful to your teacher as they took the time to plan their lessons and to teach you during that time, that you need to show that respect to. This is a time, you're in middle school, your behaviors are becoming more mature now. You should be able to just be in the classroom and receive your teaching and learning during that time. Okay, thank you, Ms. MD, Ms. Crow. We at this time we want to talk, and since we're in this digital world, there's a different type of organization that has to take place. And our very own Miss Siebert, our PE teacher, she has some strategies that she would like to introduce to you all, and I'm going to work on adding her.
Can you all hear me?
I heard you, Ms. Siebert.
Perfect. Sorry, I wasn't sure if that was my end or not.
That's fine.
All right. So it's actually.
Sorry.
Go for it.
No. I'm sorry. Go. It's on you.
Okay. Yay, technology. All right. Do you mind unsharing your screen real quick? I was going to share something to see here. But for starters, I kind of want to say, you guys, so students, if you have your camera on right now, could you kind of give me a thumb scale of how well you feel like you understand your schedule? Thumbs up being like, I know where to be every day of the week. Sideways kind of being, some of the times I get it, but other times I'm really confused. And then thumbs down being like, I don't know, I email my teacher every time. If I know, email my teacher. Where are you guys at? All right, some of us are feeling really good about it. I see a lot of sideways thumbs. Awesome, thank you guys for being so willing to respond here. So for those of you that are not feeling so hot about it, meaning our thumb is sideways, our thumb is down a little bit, I wanted to show you just a little tool that you can either take and make on paper and make it your own, or I think we talked about posting this on the website so that students had access to it. But there's some key things that you can make sure you always have to make sure you know your schedule. And if you have reached out to me, we've probably done this together already. So some of you guys are already familiar with this. But what you want to make sure you know is those live meeting days. So when are we always going to see our teachers? And in this example, I took a schedule of someone who has my class first period, and I wrote in all of their teachers and all of their live meeting days that I know, okay? First important piece of information, because if I can make it to those, I can answer the other questions, right? Second one, I need to know how to get into those meetings. So how does my teacher organize their meetings? And in this case, my classes meet on Zoom, and my students know to go to Canvas and click on the Zoom links. But other classes may meet in some different ways, and we need to know certain codes. So having those either on paper or in a digital way that you can always reach them, so you always know where to go for that answer, can be really helpful on those days you just wake up with that super tired brain and you can't quite remember how digital learning works. The third thing, and this is the one I get the most questions about, is small groups. Every teacher is going to have different policies for their small groups. So once you hear about it, either write it down or type it down somewhere you know you're always going to have it, so that you have those answers. So I don't know how these other teachers are going to do their small groups, But in my classes, we've said, unless you're missing a live lesson, we won't have a small group for you. So that's the note I would write in my little planner or whatever else I'm using to keep track of it. But I would highly recommend, if you're someone who maybe doesn't use technology all the time, have it down on paper, have it at your workspace. Just that quick cheat sheet for yourself can save you a lot of stress when it comes to the day up, so that we're not, you know, Wednesday really worried about which small groups actually happen and hoping our teachers see an email in time. Just hoping this kind of takes some stress out of your guys' day so you can focus more on the learning. And if you have questions about better ways to organize yourself or just missing those little bits of information, anyone, you guys are welcome to email me. You can email those individual teachers, like maybe Miss Dispy has your answers for art. I know we're all really willing to help set you guys up. And that is all I really have.
That's great. That's a lot right there. Thank you, Ms. Ebert. Thank you very, very much. Scholars, I hope you pay attention, and I hope you will follow suit, because it's about being organized in order to be world class and to continue your road on being a scholar. So thank you for that, Ms. Ebert. That was amazing. Thank you. And for our next one, I have to share my screen again, because up next, we're having our fabulous counselors, and they created a video for you all to introduce themselves. So hope you all enjoy. And there's Miss Drew, and you're going to hear more about Miss Drew right now. And that's Miss Lowen.
Hi, I'm Miss Drew. And I'm Miss Katie. And we're your school counselors.
Hey, Miss Drew, I heard that we're going to be starting some groups soon.
We sure are. We're going to be having a GSA. Our GSA is the Gay Straight Alliance. That will be every Wednesday at 1 o'clock. Everyone is welcome to join. And you can join by going to Google Meet and typing in HTMS GSA. We're also going to do a movie club, but we haven't determined yet what day and time that will be, so stay tuned for that information. Do we have any other clubs we're doing, Miss Katie?
We're totally going to start some new clubs. We're just not sure which ones yet. So if y'all have any ideas, we would love to hear your thoughts on what kinds of clubs we should offer.
Awesome. Thanks, Miss Katie. So tell us what is going on with Canvas. I've heard that teachers are using Canvas, but is that something that we're going to do, Miss Katie?
100% it is. We are definitely going to be using Canvas. We're going to be inviting everyone to our Canvas page this week. And on our Canvas page, we have great things. We have a virtual calming room, and we have a check-in survey, so folks can get to either one of us if they need to check in for a little bit. And our office hours are posted on there as well.
That sounds amazing. I can't wait for all of this exciting stuff that we have going on. Also, I feel like we need to let everybody know, though you may already know this information, I am specifically working with our 8th graders, and I am also working with 7th graders with the last names that start with M through Z. That said, I can still help everybody, just like Miss Katie can, but those are sort of the go-to specific people that we're working with. What about you, Miss Katie?
Oh, thanks for asking. I'm going to be working mostly with 6th graders, but also with 7th graders with the last names A through L. And like Ms. Drew said, I'm so happy to help anyone who needs it. So just let me know what you need.
This is all sounding so great. We can't wait to meet everybody and see everybody. We're hoping that we'll be able to get into the building sooner rather than later. But for now, we were able to meet with you over Google Meets if you're interested in that. If you want us to call you, we can do that. If you want us to email, we can do that. We can do it all from home. We'd rather do it from the school building, but we're doing what we can for now.
Just let us know what you need. Thanks.
Bye.
Soon.
Thank you, our wonderful counselors. Cool counselors with the cool hats and the cool shades with the glasses. What more can you ask for? If you all don't take advantage, I know I will. I'm going to sign myself up. So we might have to fight to see who can get there first. So thank you to our wonderful counselors, Miss Katie and Miss Drew. That was wonderful. And our last presenter for our wraparound services from the community is Mr. Lowe from the Coalition of Black Men. Are you there, sir?
Yeah, I'm right here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, all right. Well, yeah, thank you for having me. Tough act to follow. But Lorenzo Lowe, I'm the program manager for the Coalition of Black Men Mentoring Program. We work with 6th to 8th grade boys. We're gonna have a group of 15 this year. Our first session will be next Thursday at 1 o'clock, from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. And we'll be meeting weekly and going through leadership skills. We have a couple projects lined up, such as like building your own logo. And our big thing is building a vision board at the end of the year. We have I saw a couple kids that were in the program last year. Sincere was on, and I saw Jackson, but it's a really fun program. We've adapted it to be online. We can't wait to be in the classroom either, but we're gonna make it work with what we have for now. I can put in the chat what our contact information is, or I can just send it to you. I see, like, because the chat got disabled earlier, but we can be reached at mentoring@cobmportland.org by email, and all it takes is a permission slip, and you're free to join us every Thursday, 1 o'clock. That's all I got.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you
Thank
sharing
you
your
so much.
program. Thank you, scholars. I hope you will take advantage of it. We appreciate the community coming into the school, and we're working together so we all can be best. And you all are scholars, so that's what we're doing to support you. So I'm gonna go back to sharing the screen. Oops. And thank you all for being patient. I really appreciate you all. So coming to the end here, our upcoming events is for your parents. You could join them too. It's back to school night this Thursday, September 24th at 6 p.m. MAP testing is coming this October. That's a test in reading, language arts, and math. And it's to measure where you are, how well you're doing with those two areas. And the teachers get to use that data to help you along within in your classes. And the last one, bullet there, monthly Scholar Award celebrations. We're going to organize in which we're going to choose scholars per month, and we're going to celebrate your greatness, being the best as you can within your classes. We have to celebrate what you all are doing because we appreciate you all. You all have adjusted to the digital learning, and we just know that's tough for you all. This is the first year that we start in school virtually. It's different. I know you, like we spoke about this with the staff. I know first day of school, I always want to wear my new clothes. The first week, have all my new clothes. Hopefully I had enough for 2 weeks. It was nothing like that first day coming in with your brand new book bag and such, and seeing your friends and seeing your teachers from last year, if you were there from the year before, or if you're new, just seeing all new people. It's just a different feeling. But you all are working through this, and one day we will be able to enter that building, and that will be the first day of school. Trust me on that. We're going to celebrate it. We're going to celebrate our scholars, not just monthly, but when you all in that building, we're celebrating each day. It's been rough for you all. It's been rough for your teachers. It's been rough for the whole staff. Everyone wants what we call being back to normal, and hopefully we will get there this school year. So I believe that's the end. Just want to make sure, yes, that was the end. And want to say thank you all for your attention. You were a great audience, participants. Some of you were participating first in that chat and we had to shut it down, but hopefully you learned from that. I want to thank my wonderful administrators, Ms. Crowell and Ms. MD. They gave you some pertinent information on your road to being, as you are, a scholar, being the best. To our counselors for the amazing introduction and what they offer for you. Ms. Siebert will introduce you all how to be organized, which is key. And Mr. Lowe for introducing his program, Coalition of Black Men. So want to thank you all. And at this time, it is 3 o'clock. Correct, it is 3 o'clock. And you might have some more classes to go, well, maybe applied learning that you have to attend to, some work that you have to do for your classes. So scholars, want to thank you. If you have any questions, please send it to the administrators, myself, the counselors, so we can answer them for you. So remember, we are here to support you along the way. You can also ask the teachers. You're already asking them a lot. The reason why I didn't say the teachers, because you're already emailing them a lot. Just was trying to take some of that extra emails off of them. So if you had any questions about what took place today, please email your administrator, your counselor, and myself, and we would gladly get back to you and answer it. So thank you, scholars. Have a good evening. It was a pleasure. Bye-bye.